and I'm finally going to be doing my 2015 yearly favorites video, which I've been really looking forward to doing. I did do this same video last year after New Year's, and it was so fun because I don't really do monthly favorites or anything like that throughout the year. So it's fun for me to be able to sit down and talk to you guys about what I loved this year. That way you can either agree or disagree, or let me know if there's anything similar, or if you are looking for new things to try out, then you can maybe try some of these. You never know. I'm gonna go through makeup, beauty, skincare, and hair products, pretty much. So that this video doesn't turn out to be like 40 minutes long, I'm gonna go ahead and just get started. So because I did this last year as well, all of those products I still love and totally use on a daily basis. So I'm not really gonna repeat any products. So if I skip a certain category, then that means that the products that I mentioned last year are probably still my favorite, and this year I never found anything that I liked more. So that's that. This year I really tried to get into primers, face primers. So this year I did try the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and this is in smoothing, their smoothing one. I guess they have like a hydrating, mattifying, I don't know, they have a bunch of different ones. This is obviously just their like trial sized one or travel size or whatever, so they do have bigger ones, but I decided to try the small one just to make sure I liked it, and I do. So it really just evens out the pores and makes the skin look really smooth, so that when you apply your foundation, your face pretty much just looks flawless. So who wouldn't like that? So I would say that this is probably my favorite primer that I found this year, and I'm loving it, and I pretty much use it on a daily basis. So alright, so this year I really wanted to try a few new foundations. The one that I did end up trying for the first time in 2015 was the MAC Face and Body Foundation. This quickly became my #1 everyday foundation. I absolutely love it. It's super watery and sheer, but you can build up enough coverage to get whatever you're needing. I love it because I don't feel like I'm wearing a ton of foundation and cake on my face, basically. I think it's great for every day. I mean, it's supposed to be sheer enough so that you can wear it on your body. I loved using this on clients as well this year. I even had a couple clients be like, oh my god, I didn't know makeup artists could do natural looking makeup. And I owe it all to this because it really is a great product. I was actually kind of scared to use any MAC foundations because several years ago I had tried their like Studio Fix Fluid or one of their really heavy, and it really made my face break out into little like bumps, and it was not cute. So I had been hesitant to try any other MAC foundations for a really long time until I believe it was in my last year's favorites, their BB cream, which I still love because it has all the SPF and all that in it. But I figured since that was BB cream, that would maybe be safer, but this foundation at least I definitely love, and it's become my holy grail. They do have smaller bottles as well. And so this was the big one, and I was like, oh, I hope I really like it and that this isn't a waste, because I didn't want it to go bad before I actually finished it, but I like use this literally every day. Unless a special occasion, then I'll maybe use different foundations, obviously, that are a little heavier, but I love it. So if you have dry skin, then you will love this. So now to stick to face products. I realized this year when I did my fall favorites tag video that I really need to expand my blush game because I've never been a blush girl. I don't really like pink or redness in my face at all. I usually just do contouring and highlighting, and that's it. And then I'll do, you know, the shimmer highlight and all that intense stuff to kind of add the dimension. But this year I figured I really need to expand and try out some different things. So I came across this MAC blush in Prism. It is amazing. I'm so obsessed with this shade. It's kind of like a dusty beigey rose shade, I would say. It's not too dark, it's not too light, it's the perfect. I used it on my face today. I feel like it's literally my favorite blush I have ever seen. I've never actually heard of anybody talk about this blush either, so I'm kind of surprised, and I kind of just randomly came across it and decided to try it out. It is one of their more matte ones. It doesn't really say on here if it's like a matte or a satin, but I think it's just their matte, one of their matte shades. But yeah, I really love it, so I'm glad that I tried this out. All right, so this year I feel like Becca products really ruled the highlighter game this year. Especially the Becca Champagne Glow palette that they came out with in collaboration with Jaclyn Hill, because this year she also came out with the Champagne Pop highlighter shade, which is in this palette, which I love. It's kind of a peachy highlighter, and then it has Pearl, which is a more white pearly highlighter shade, and then Copper, or Blushed Copper, which is also beautiful. And you might look at this and think that would not be a highlighter on me, but I actually used all three highlighters today. So I pretty much just use Blush Copper as like an all-over blush topper to kind of give it that extra glow, and then I'll sweep a little bit of the Champagne Pop lightly along the whole cheekbone upper area, and then I'll take a more defining type highlighter brush and take Pearl and just dab it literally on the very top cheekbone area to make it like kind of sharp and pop out a little bit more. I love it. I also used Pearl in my inner tear duct today, and I just think this palette is amazing, and I think it's a decent size. It's not quite as big as their main like larger highlighter palettes or containers or pans or whatever they're called, but I think it's totally a decent price for what you're getting. I love this palette. So I guess I'll just stick to palettes then, because I don't really have any more face makeup products to share with you guys that I found this year. But I did actually for the first time try the new, or I guess it's not really new anymore, but the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. This became my absolute favorite. I really resisted like getting into any of the Kat Von D palettes just because I heard so much hype, and I really felt like I didn't need it because I had a lot of similar shades. But this palette is so beautiful. I love matte eyeshadows. I'm more of a matte shadow person than shimmer, but I feel like this is the perfect matte, basic, everyday neutral palette that anybody could use, and then just play with getting individual shimmer shades and metallics and all that and use those as your like accent shades. But I feel like you need those neutral matte shades before anything else so that you really can just get the overall. I love the way that they set it up as far as neutral, cool tones, and warm tones. And I like that they put the more transition all over the lid type shades in larger pans, because you will use those more often, and especially when you're in a palette, it makes more sense because you're gonna run out of those shades first. I know in my Lorac Pro palette and other palettes that I have, all of these sort of shades are the ones that I run out of first. So it kind of sucks because then I'm like, I don't want to buy a whole new palette. That's why I've said before that I'm usually an individual pan eyeshadow person, but I love this idea. I think it's perfect. I love every single shade in here actually to use, just depending on what kind of look I'm going for. I did actually use pretty much my entire upper lid area was using this palette, and then you'll see the lower lid was the next palette I'm going to be telling you all about. But yeah, I absolutely love this palette. It's super buttery, awesome shades. It's just a great overall, like, I would suggest this to anybody. So the next palette that I became obsessed with this year is probably no surprise if you'd saw my last year's favorites video, but this year is the Venus 2 palette, which is from Lime Crime. Last year I was obsessed with the Venus original palette. I was feeling like I didn't need this one, but I couldn't resist when I saw especially this top row and this mustard shade. It's got my name all over it. The mustard shade in particular is my absolute favorite eyeshadow shade that came out this year of 2015 overall. I know last year my favorite eyeshadow for the 2014 was MAC's Uninterrupted. It's their Pro Longwear eyeshadow shade, but I realized this year they decided to discontinue it. MAC does that for some reason. So I'm stoked that I found this shade because it's even better than Uninterrupted. I mean, I still love it, Uninterrupted, and I made sure to get a backup for that one. But this one is even more yellowy and pukey, which is right up my alley. So I used this, and this shade, so it's Mustard, Mud, and Jam, all on my lower lash line, so it gives it a really pretty orangey look. And I'm just obsessed. I've been wanting to use it all the time, especially the warm shades. I do really like the greens. The blue is kind of hard to deal with. I feel like it's so different than any normal shade, but I have actually used it in my inner tear duct as like a pop of color, and it's been awesome. So I do just really love this palette overall, and it's got the same amazing quality that the last Venus palette had, so that's great because that was like game changer amazing. It's got the same kind of cute packaging as last year, but with their color scheme for this one. So yeah, loved this palette this year. So another thing that I found for the first time in 2015, which seems really crazy to me, but the MAC Pigments in gold and copper. I found these when I was at the Pro Store in San Francisco, and I never even knew that they made pigments that existed like this. At least, I mean, I've seen other pigments from MAC obviously, and I have many, but they're all more, kind of more shimmery, glittery, I guess. These are kind of like a metallic metal look. It's crazy how pretty these are. I'll try to swatch it a little bit so you can kind of get an idea. But when I swatched it, I was like, I need this. I'm of course gonna make a mess. And these pigments last you forever. You barely use anything in this, like it might seem kind of expensive, but I'm gonna have this forever, pretty much. All right, so here is copper and gold is below that. They're such pretty colors, I can't even get over it. It's not doing any justice on camera, but it literally looks like chrome, like straight up metal. It's just so smooth. I'm obsessed with it. So those I found this year and was like, whoa, I want every shade. They had a lot of really awesome colors, but I felt like a copper and a gold was really like standard, what I would want my, if I'm doing a little bronzed chrome metal look on my eye, that's the colors I would want. So those were amazing this year that I found. To stick to eyes as well, I wanted to share with you guys this MAC Chromagraphic pencil for eyes, or I guess it's a multi-use. It's just the Chromagraphic, but it's genuine orange. I have it on my lower lash line today. I'm obsessed with it. It's like a basic orange. It's like pretty much just, it's orange, but it is so pretty. And if I'm gonna do a pop of color, orange is my favorite for sure. So there's that right there. It's just literally orange. So putting it for that pop of color in my lower lash line, it's perfection, but they don't have it in stores unless you go to a pro store. So I got it while I was in San Francisco, but it's amazing. If you can find it online or at a pro store near you, then you won't regret it if you like orange, because it's amazing. So I am totally a drugstore mascara person. Mascara has always kind of been that thing that why spend the money on. I never figured how any would be better than another. So I'm all about the L'Oreal Voluminous, the basic Voluminous Carbon Black, also the Voluminous Fiber Lash, which I still use. Those are my two favorite for drugstore. But this year, I actually tried out a few more high-end brands to kind of see what the difference could be. And I came across these two, which are now my favorite if you are wanting to spend more money for some reason on a high-end mascara. I'm all about these. So it's the MAC Extended Play Gigablack Lash. I love that it's such a long, skinny brush. It makes it super easy to get onto my tiny little lashes, especially on my lower lash line. So I've been using this like nonstop. It's my new favorite for sure. And then I really liked the Makeup Forever Smokey Extravagant mascara. And I was kind of turned off by it at first because it's so fluffy and like fat on that bottom area and then gets really tiny. So I was like, ooh, that's probably just gonna get everywhere and messy with that big fluffy area. But it's actually amazing because when you apply it, that small part stays in the inner corners where, you know, it could get messy, but then that outer fluff area kind of expands the lashes and really fluffs them out on the outer portion of your lashes. I don't know, either way, I really, really love this, especially for my top lashes. So this is definitely my 2 favorite mascaras that I found this year, 2015. But yeah, so if you're looking for some really good ones, these I definitely love. Now to stick to lashes, I've never been the biggest fake lash girl. I usually just do like demi wispies, or I'll get red cherry lashes or whatever, but there've been so many lash companies coming out, I feel like, this past year. So I decided to try some from Koko, and these Godess lashes have become my favorite. I feel like they make any makeup look that I do look like fleekish, if that's a word. They are so pretty and fluffy, and when I first got them, I actually was a little worried that they would maybe too thick and big for my small hooded eyes. So sad. But it's actually amazing. And so I wouldn't necessarily recommend these for somebody who is not used to using fake lashes, because the band is so thick, so it's hard to kind of get on and really like hold tight. Even today I didn't wear any liner, and I feel like it still looks pretty, I mean, not natural. It's pretty obvious that I'm wearing some Baba Boom lashes, but I feel like it looks really pretty with any look. It really opens up my eyes and makes them look doll-like and big. I feel like a goddess, I'd say. What do you think? But anyway, so I'm totally obsessed with these lashes. If you're looking for a new, crazy, vampy, glamorous lash, then I definitely recommend these Koko lashes. And I love that they come in this cute little pink box. I don't know, I feel like that also. So I actually stocked up. I got like 6 of these. So yeah, I'm excited to try more from Koko actually. And while I'm on lashes though, I did want to share with you my absolute favorite and must for applying fake lashes, which is the Duo brush on lash adhesive. I will not wear fake lashes or even apply fake lashes on clients or anything if I'm not using this lash glue. If I forget this, I'm not gonna do lashes. I've heard that it's similar to the House of Lashes glue, but they've always been sold out whenever I try to order them, so I have not tried it to really say my opinion on if it's like a dupe or anything, but it's amazing. It dries super fast. It's just like a little brush on, so you just brush it along the strip and it dries way faster, so you're not sitting there for like a whole minute or 2 waiting for the lash glue to dry or cool or whatever before you place it on the eye, and then it gets everywhere and it's hard to stick. This really helps my lashes stick. Love it. If you're a fake lash girl, you need this in your life. All right, I think it's safe to move on to lips now. Last year, I think in my yearly favorites, I only talked about liquid lipsticks because that's when they appeared on the scene and I was obsessed and that's all I ever wanted to use. So I do have a few that I want to share with you, of course, but I also actually have 3 of my favorite shades of just standard lipsticks that I also want to share. So I did actually just post my liquid lipstick overall review swatch video, so I'll link that below if you want to know more of like what my favorites were, obviously, or favorites are. But today for this video I just wanted to share basically my favorite shades, so ones that I wore a lot and really dove towards this year. I will start first with the one that I'm wearing right now, which I actually mentioned in my fall favorites video, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, and again, since I have my liquid lipsticks video, you know how that goes. But it's the Ofra liquid lipstick in Miami Fever. It is the collaboration with Kathleen Lights. It's on my lips right now. It's kind of a pumpkin brick shade, I would say, so it's awesome with this orange, I would think. But I just really, really loved this color, and I feel like it's so unique. It has definitely become a favorite for this year. It's so, so pretty. The next favorite was definitely the Jeffree Star Androgyny shade. Ugh, I'm so obsessed with this color. It's definitely maybe my actual #1 favorite. I want to wear it every day. I feel like it's such a good, it's like a neutral shade to me because it's kind of that mauve-y, nude brown, which is so normal these days, but it's also a little darker, so it really stands out and just kind of pops, which I love about lipsticks. So I absolutely love that one this year. So you will be able to get this. I know it sold out really fast, but it is coming out with their basic pink packaging. So if you didn't get your hands on this, you will have a shot. My last liquid lipstick that was my favorite for 2015 was Lime Crime's Bleached. This is my favorite overall nude that I have of all of my liquid lipsticks. It's just, I mean, which is surprising because I don't typically like peachy nudes, but I feel like it almost, I don't know, I just really, really like it. It's definitely my favorite nude overall this year. I feel like it goes with any look. Loved, loved, loved this shade for 2015. Okay, so as far as lipsticks go, I actually have 3 shades. They're all MAC lipsticks, but I feel like I never really talk about actual lipsticks. So I was thinking of doing my MAC lipstick collections and maybe a top 10 favorite shades. If you're interested, let me know below. But for today, I'm just sharing 2 kind of more nude natural shades and then one that's like a really fun color that I found for the first time in 2015. So first for the nudes, I feel like I may or may not have mentioned this before in a video, but my all-time favorite nude every year is definitely Blankety. It is the perfect nudie beige, kind of pinkish tone, so it's on the cooler side, but there it is right there. It's my favorite nude ever for lipstick. So it's just a really pretty, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. I love it. It's really good on my skin tone. There's that. And then another color that I got for the first time actually this year is Velvet Teddy, which is the second one, or the first one right there. It actually almost kind of looks similar to Bleached, except Bleached may have a slightly more peachy tone to it. But yeah, Velvet Teddy and Blankety. So you can see the difference. Velvet Teddy is kind of a little bit darker, so it just kind of pops a little bit more for fair skin, but it would maybe be a little bit better if you have a darker skin tone. I believe I found this one because of the whole Kylie Jenner thing. I think she claimed that she used this at one point with a lip liner from MAC also, so I tried it out and I absolutely love it. And then another lipstick that I found for the first time this year, actually, I never hear about it, so it may or may not be newer to MAC's lipstick line, but it's D for Danger. It is a beautiful, kind of a berry wine shade, which berry shades are, if not nude, berry is probably my other favorite. Like nudie mauves and berry shades, basically. So there it is right there. It's so, so pretty. I'm so glad that I randomly stumbled across it. Oh, and all of these, Velvet Teddy and D for Danger are both, they're matte formulas, and then Blankety is amplified, so it's a little bit more moisturizing than the mattes, but I'm really, just like eyeshadows, I like matte lipsticks. I think because they're more long lasting, honestly. I really don't have a problem with them drying out my lips or anything. I just feel like I don't have to worry about them as much. The shinier the lip, the more I feel like it's getting on my chin and smearing and not gonna last, just gonna kind of slide off. But yeah, those were definitely my 3 favorites this year that I wanted to share. And then also lip liners, also from MAC. I wanted to share my 2 favorites has been Whirl and Subculture. I pretty much found them this year also. But Whirl is a really nice mauve-y neutral, basically, kind of a brownish mauve-y neutral. Also something that Kylie Jenner claimed to be wearing or something of the sort, which has made it very, very popular. And then the other one is Subculture, which I feel like is pretty much just a better version of my actual lips. So it's kind of more peachy, and then Whirl is kind of that deeper mauve brown nude. But these are my 2 favorite neutral lip liners for sure. They've been my go-to. So done with lips. Now to kind of tie up the makeup portion of the favorites video, I'm going to talk about my favorite setting spray that I came across this past year was the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix. I absolutely love this stuff. It's kind of expensive, but it's totally worth it. I really do feel like it sets my makeup and makes it last as long as possible. But yeah, definitely recommend this stuff if you're looking for a really good setting spray. I wanted to talk about the Real Techniques brushes because this past year, I really feel like, I mean, I tried them pretty much for the first time and now I love using them every day. I definitely use them on myself. These are the ones that I reach for as far as face brushes go, more often than even my Sigma Morphe brushes or anything. I just love how soft they are. They're so amazing. I don't know how they're so cheap. They're definitely more on the affordable side. I know you can get them from Ulta, definitely. I think Target and some drugstores might have them, but they are more drugstore pricing. Like I think this one runs for like $12 or something, and then the smaller they go, the cheaper they get, like $9.99 or something like that. But I love this powder brush for all over powder. It's so soft that you can just dab it in or even kind of buff it in and it doesn't smear or streak the makeup you have underneath because it's so soft. Love it. And then I love using the sculpting brush for underneath my eyes to apply my concealer. I use this on the daily, and I used all of these brushes today as well for the makeup that I have on, just so you can see it. I love using the buffing brush as well as the Expert Face Brush for foundation. So I just buff it in. It's pretty similar to the Sigma and the Morphe brushes. It's just those really soft, dense packed brushes. So it's really good for applying. I actually prefer the Expert Face Brush over the buffing brush because it's more dense, but I know a lot of people prefer the buffing. I don't know, whatever. It would also be really good for the Expert Face Brush. Also, if you're applying liquid contouring, you know? I really like the contour brush for applying my powder contour. It's the perfect size. It really chisels the cheeks. Again, I used all of these today for these things. Yeah, I just absolutely love that one for that. It's perfect. My favorite for sure for setting powder under the eyes is the setting brush. It fits perfectly in that area to do the triangle, you know, so good. And then the blush brush is amazing for bronzing. It's a little big for blush, but it would be really good because you can just tap it because it is kind of more pointed on the end, so you can apply it just where you need and just kind of blend it. So I use this a lot for blending any contouring if it gets harsh, or blush, and then I'll bronze like the forehead or down here, you know? I love this brush. This is like my go-to bin for face brushes on a daily. So if you're looking for something more affordable than Sigma or MAC brushes or something like that, in particular this past year, I came across the Real Techniques brushes and became obsessed. So just wanted to share that. And then another thing I was wanting to maybe do still the makeup brush video, my favorites, whatever, all that. So let me know below again if you are interested in seeing that, and I'll definitely get on that. My last favorite that I wanted to share with you guys that I feel like should be included in the beauty was the Sigma Spa Mat. So I use this to clean my brushes whenever I'm deep cleaning, and it's so good. It helps me clean it way faster. I usually was like using a wash rag and like rubbing them in, and then I'd have to use a paper towel, and then it goes through so many processes. But it's so easy to just use my brush cleaner, get it wet, and then I'll like brush it along, and it kind of explains on here the different station like areas. So it has like wash the face brushes, and it has like the bigger bubbly things, and then rinse face, refine face plus, refine, and then it has wash eyes, refine plus eyes, rinse eyes. So anyway, you just kind of run it through the different sections, and it really cleans it good. So I got this past year, and I can't imagine cleaning my brushes without it now. So convenient. All right, so that's all my makeup favorites. I think I might split the video actually into 2 portions because I don't want the video to be too long, and I still have skincare and hair products that I really want to share with you guys that I loved in 2015. So if you want to see that, I will be posting that next, and I will link the link below once it is out as well. So definitely check that out. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. Let me know what your favorites were for 2015, or if you tried any of these products as well and also really loved them. Yeah, so if you haven't already, please subscribe. It just lets me know that you want to see more videos from me. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you really enjoy these favorites videos. Maybe I was thinking of doing kind of like a seasonal or quarterly favorites video, you know? So maybe like one favorites video for fall, winter, spring, and summer. Let me know if that sounds good, or if not, then I will just do my yearly favorites like I have been, because it's really fun that I get to compile everything and really just talk all about it. But it does get kind of long, so I don't know, let me know below. But again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the second portion.